I'm Richard Randall. Welcome back to the Real Estate Voice with Barb Schlinker. She is the Real Estate Voice. This is the weekly radio show that informs and educates you on how to buy or sell real estate, and it does it with Barb Schlinker. She's the owner of Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty. That's the name, and that is the promise. I'd like to think a majority of people selling their homes want the highest price, of course, Barb. How to get the most money for your house is a question many home sellers ask me. I'm sure they're asking you the same thing. How much difference does home sale preparation make when you're actually getting around to selling the home?
It makes a huge difference. And I think a lot of it has to do with understanding the market as well. This market shifted so quickly. I mean, within 2 months, I've never seen it do it that fast. So you really need to hire an agent that understands the market and can help you position the home, both with how it looks and pricing to get you the highest price. I just did some research today on the stats, and it's really surprising that the number of available homes has increased by 5 times since January. Now, is that a bad thing? No, not really, because if you look back before COVID and before crazy low interest rates and bidding wars everywhere, that was kind of normal for this time of year. So we're moving back to the median, the normalcy. So don't freak out, but the chances of you getting a bidding war, even though it's really fun if you get one, are not that likely as they were just a few months ago. But still, with that said, the market values are doing pretty well. There has been a drop in sales as compared to last year. It's the first time I've seen those numbers come out. It's down by 23% as compared to a year ago, but a year ago was insane. Buyers had to make 10 offers just to get an acceptance. They had to go way over asking price. They were always facing competition. So now it's going more to normal, where not every home has a bidding war. Very few actually do. We've had a huge uptick in the number of available listings, so buyers have more homes to choose from. But that said, the average prices are still going up by about 14 to 15%. So we've got more supply. We've got fewer, like just a few months ago, we couldn't keep up with homes monthly that were priced under, say, 500,000. And now even homes 300 to 400,000, not every home is selling. So preparation is absolutely key. The other thing that's important is the days on market have gone up a lot higher. Just a few months ago, it might have only been 7 days on market. Now we're at 14 days on market. But that said, the average sales price going back from a year ago, you see different numbers. If you look in the Pikes Peak statistics, it shows 14% appreciation. If you look at the state statistics, it shows about 12. But the good news is overall, the prices are still going up. The rate of appreciation is not going to be like it was last year. We're not going to see 22, 25% appreciation. That's crazy. It's not going to happen. But what it means is you do, as a seller, have to be prepared, and you need to connect with an agent that really understands what's going on in the market and how to price it right. Because if you price too high and the home sits on the market, it will actually get somewhat stale. The buyers will assume there's something wrong with it. They'll be less likely to make an offer, or if they make an offer, it's going to be low. And the national statistics indicate in any market, if you price a home too high and then slowly walk the price down, you'll actually net less money. So understanding what your competition is also important. What homes are getting contracts? What homes are not getting contracts? What homes are expiring, not sold? Yes, I said that about half the homes are not selling. Most agents really don't have a solution for these problems. Here's a problem. If a buyer has to sell a home in order to purchase their next home, a lot of agents don't have a solution for that. So what they do is they'll make offers saying, well, Mr. and Mrs. Seller, we have to sell a house. Our house is not on the market yet. Will you tie up your property for me and wait until I sell it? And then I'll be able to buy your home. How do you think most home sellers react to that, Richard?
Oh boy, I know how I would react to that, and that is very, very negative. In fact, I would expect you to help solve the problem. You're
Right.
working for me. There's a fiduciary relationship. I want you to deal with it.
Yeah, and it's actually the number one question that we get. They don't want sale contingencies. They don't want any problems, right? So we another big question is, what does a home seller need to do and not need to do to get their house ready for sale? And sometimes a very small investment can net you a huge return on your investment. Buyers want the pretty move-in ready houses. Those always sell for a premium. It doesn't matter what the market's doing. Buyers want HGTV, not the pre-fix up, but the post-fixed up. And so unless it's priced appropriately, you might not get people to make their best offer. So that's part of what we specialize in, helping home sellers figure out what to do, what not to do to get their house ready for sale. You also have to have somebody that has a great marketing strategy. And unfortunately, a majority of the agents' marketing strategy is take some pictures, maybe not good pictures, post it in the MLS, and hope somebody else has a buyer. We call it the post and hope strategy. But pricing is probably one of the most important ones. Updated homes, obviously, they sell for top dollar. Homes that are aggressively priced will gravitate towards a retail price. If they're priced too low, they will go to top dollar because people are like, oh my gosh, I can get this home in my price range. I'm going to make my best offer. But in general, if you price your home what we call realistically versus optimistically, which is what people used to do back in the day when it was more of a buyer's market, you're going to actually net more money. And that's what we specialize in: pricing expertise, making sure we have good knowledge of your home, marketing knowledge, pricing knowledge. We need to substantiate its value, but we also need to take a look at the competition and make sure we're positioning the home to attract the most demand for your home. And the agent that can do that not only has a database of buyers, but knows how to attract all the buyers in the citywide buyer agent network in the market right now, are the ones that are going to help a home seller get the most money. And there are actually 7 key factors that agents must do to get top dollar. And we offer a free report where you can learn all about how to do that. The report is called the 8 New Marketing Laws on How to Sell Your Home for Up to 11% More. You can visit barbhasthebuyers.com, click on the seller guide or free reports and download that report at 719, or you just call us. Don't worry about the website if you don't want to do that. Call us at 719-301-3900 or go to barbhasthebuyers.com. And we just sold Peter's mom's home for actually 12% over asking price. This home was not updated. It was another 70s time warp, but they took my advice. They got rid of just making it neat and tidy. The carpet was very old. That was the only thing they updated. Everything else was as it was when it was built. She was the original owner. But because we positioned it right and because the sellers decided to price it right, we ended up getting his mom $35,000 over asking price, and the home was offered strictly as is. Richard?
If you're thinking of making a move and you'd like to know what to do and what not to do to get ready for sale, you can go to Barb's website, barbhasthebuyers.com, or call Barb and her team at 719-301-3900. We're talking with Barb Schlinker of Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty. This is the Real Estate Voice show. Barb is that real estate voice. She's the host of the show, and it's easy to reach at 719-301-3900 or barbhasthebuyers.com. Now, Barb, you've prepared a checklist to help people prepare their homes for sale. Is it simply how the home looks, or is there a little bit more to it?
There's a little bit more to it. And basically, this checklist that you can order it goes over all the different things. Pricing your home appropriately. Pricing is hugely important, and we can help you do that. You don't have to worry about that too much. A lot of people lean on those online valuations like Zillow, or I think Redfin has one too. Realtor.com has an online valuation. HomeBot is out there on a lot of people's websites. They may not be accurate, and this is why. A lot of times those automated valuations are just averaging the home sale prices around you based on similar recent sales and maybe a little bit on square footage, and that's it. They don't know the updates to your home, the condition of the home. They don't really even know what the competition is right now. So oftentimes you see big, wide swings. I met with a seller yesterday. We had one price way down in the 5s and another one way up in the upper 6s. It was more than $100,000 range. So how does the seller pick the right number? You need an agent that does this all the time. And then you want to make sure that you prepare the home for sale. We have some great checklists on my website that you could download for that. And you want to get ready for going on the market, because here's the thing: if it's not marketed correctly, even little things like missing pictures could mean the difference of you getting a buyer or not getting a buyer. There's 5,000 agents in the Pikes Peak region. I think there's 30,000 agents in Denver. 74% of them sell 3 or less homes a year. So if they don't do this all the time, they may not know. And then you want to make sure your home gets marketed so that you're attracting the top buyer demand. And then you want to make sure that your agent knows how to negotiate. This thing, it really surprises me, but in the industry, the training is awful on the skills that the public would think that you understand: marketing, negotiating, and closing. Those are sales skills. There's no training on it. Most of it's like how to get out of trouble, filling out this contract, this legal contract for your clients, and keep the broker out of trouble, and then you just go figure it out. It's kind of crazy. And then most agents sometimes, especially buyers agents, tend to act for what I call advocates for their buyers, and they create I'll just say unnecessary problems in the process. Like I had one recently where they scheduled an inspection and they showed up with, I don't know, 10 people. There were 6 cars, the grandkids, they were having a party. It was crazy. And the seller was like, whoa, what are all these people doing here? And then the agent turned around and asked for repairs that weren't even notated on the inspection report. They were just trying to get stuff under the guise of being the advocate and trying to get stuff from my client. And it just creates a lot of animosity. It's not necessary. I think most sellers will repair things that are reasonable, that are broken. But if it's unreasonable, let me give you an example. They had just taken showers. There was moisture in the bathroom. So the inspector went in with his moisture meter and his infrared thing and said, oh, there must be mold back there. So then the seller had to spend money to get a plumber in, and the plumber's like, there's nothing wrong with this. He just took a shower.
But wait a minute. I'm going to threaten to terminate the whole dang thing unless you give me these concessions.
That's right. That's what they do. They threaten to terminate unless I get stuff. So it makes the experience miserable for the sellers, and it puts the whole thing in doubt. And we know how to deal with this because we're used to doing it all the time. But we see these kind of things a lot, and it's mostly because the training's just awful. I think a lot of times if a buyer is asking for repairs and the agent is reasonable and realistic, there's no arguments. It's like, okay, that makes sense. I'll get that fixed, or I can't do that, or this works that way. So you're better off hiring somebody that has some expertise and some experience. I actually just spoke with a buyer recently that was so upset after they bought a home and closed on it that the agent told them all kinds of stories. They bought it sight unseen, and they're going to sell it for a loss because the experience and where the house was, it wasn't right. So we'll talk about that in detail in the next segment. But basically, we have a process. We actually give our sellers a book. It's the 201 steps that we actually manage from contract to closing to get that sale to the finish line. And unfortunately, most agents just wing it. So if you want to get the most amount of money, if you want to hire a staff that knows what they're doing, that has expertise, that makes sure everything is going well, give us a call at 719-301-3900 or go to barbhasthebuyers.com, because we work with that all the time. We can kind of expect mistakes to happen or challenges to happen and prepare you for it, so you don't have any chaos and craziness at closing to get to the finish line. So if you'd like to order that free report, the 8 new marketing laws to sell your home for up to 11% more, go to barbhasthebuyers.com or give us a call at 719-301-3900. Richard?
You're listening to Barb Schlinker of Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty. This is the Real Estate Voice Show. Barb is the Real Estate Voice. And if you're thinking of selling your home, you want to get the most amount of money, of course, when you sell, call Barb at 719-301-3900 or visit Barb Has the Buyers, because Barb does have the buyers. We'll take a short break. When we come back, we'll be discussing how to sell a house with an agent. Stay tuned for that.